this Monday night, we're sending you back to the podcast.
Oh, jeez. Hey.
Welcome back to the podcast. Josh Delgado, Glenda Delgado. We're going to talk about The Last of Us. And I just had a couple notes before we start about last week's episode that occurred to me. As we talked about a couple things. You were talking about the last network show we watched. It was actually, for me, it was actually Good Girls. Except I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it on network TV. I watched it on Netflix. So I waited.
Of course.
I waited a year. I waited a year to watch it. And the interesting about that, we went to Universal in 2021, which was the last season that they were filming Good Girls, and they were still touted on the tour. They were still like, "Oh, this is where we filmed Good Girls. This is her trailer." And then even the Good Place. This is where they film. This is called a Good Place, right? This is where they filmed the Good Place, which was already canceled. So I don't remember them mentioning any new shit at Universal.
Yeah,
just the ones about to be canceled and the show that's been canceled
right.
like a year ago. So it's kind of interesting.
You're right. So I wonder what they say about on the tour now.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. But see, there is room for network TV, but at the same time, I didn't watch it on NBC. I watched it on Netflix, so I don't know. But it was good. They botched the ending, but it was good. Also, something we really missed here, we were talking about Robin Hood and the director, and then we didn't mention what's his name, Ridley Scott. He did a Robin Hood movie in 2010 with Russell Crowe.
Shut up.
With Russell Crowe, yeah.
Oh my god!
And I remembered after, as soon as we stopped filming, I remembered I googled like, yeah, he did do the Robin Hood one, and they had accents, and Russell Crowe got criticized for his accent, but apparently because Robin Hood's like an expat, right? He didn't actually grow up in England. He had to leave, and he grew up in a small place somewhere. So there's some famous traveler that he knew that had a certain accent that Robin Hood moved to as a kid. So that was his accent. So people that hated his accent, he doesn't tolerate it because like, no. I know a guy from the area that he went to. This is what he sounds like. So my accent's accurate because it's not supposed to be straight up English accent because he didn't grow up in England. He left as a kid and he traveled to France. Okay. So he went to France and then he came back to England. So I'll give him props for that. I don't know. I didn't watch the movie. But he did do the accent, so.
Interesting. So you're saying Ridley Scott committed to the accents in that, but not to The Last Duel.
And it's so funny, yeah. And he did Robin Hood. But I don't think that movie did well either, so.
Yeah, I remember wanting to see it. I like Russell Crowe, but I didn't see it.
Well, that's it. There's a couple notes from last week. So let's talk about the Last of Us, which is funny because I was trying to bring it up, but we were talking to Allison about zombies and whatnot, and then the emotional between, you said mother and daughter. Well, this is the dad and daughter in The Last of Us. Mm-hmm. And all that emotion in there. I'm probably going to speak some spoilers because it's really hard to talk about without it. I'm sure a lot of people play the game. I like that. They committed to. They mostly. I hate it when they do this. They mostly committed to the casting. So Pedro Pascal is Hispanic, and then a lot of times when they do that, they just leave it ambiguous. Then they'll have like a white brother. It's like, okay, so he's not Hispanic in the show, but he's in real life. So they 90% committed to it because they got what's his name? Gabriel de Luna, or what's his name? Diego de Luna. His brother Tommy is Diego de Luna.
Oh, God.
I didn't even recognize him. He looks a lot older in the show. I didn't even recognize him.
Wow.
I like him from Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Terminator. But I didn't even recognize him. The daughter looked like Rachel Dolezal, the white girl that pretended to be black. So I was like, okay, she's definitely not Latina. She's definitely white and black. But okay, she was good though. So
do you know who she is?
No.
She's the daughter of Sandy.
I think I saw she was famous. It was like two famous people, right?
Sandy Newton's daughter. That's why she looks just like her.
Danny's a good actress. So they mostly committed to the race. I mean, I thought it was kind of weird. She was great though, but I thought it was kind of weird because they committed. Okay, the brother's actually Hispanic, so they're construction workers. They're actually Hispanic. Then the daughter's like, I don't think she's half Hispanic, but she was good. She was good. I don't want to hate on her. She was good. I don't have no problem.
That doesn't bother me. That's just silly that people are complaining about that. And the thing is, she's also very good. I thought she was very good. She was charming. Sometimes kids that age, like they're kind of annoying, and you don't want to. You're like, that they're like playing a part, and they're supposed to be cute and they're supposed to be charming, and it's overdone. She felt real, and
usually they're trying to these adaptations. They're trying to live up to something else. It's you don't see it a lot for the games. Like they have to live up This game, people are really passionate about. It's been remade, remastered. Like it's gonna be remastered like a third time already. I know you played a little bit of it, but it's mostly been positive
Um,
reviews as far as everybody.
Remastered. The game is supposed to be
Came
remastered.
out like in 2013, and they keep re-releasing it, like updated graphics and whatnot.
Oh, I didn't know. See, I don't know the history of the game. I have played the game. I feel proud about that.
Yeah, how
But as you
much?
know, it's.
When I
I know
went
exactly. I was
there, you
just
were in
gonna
the beginning.
exactly. I was just gonna say it terrified the fuck out of me. I don't know. Games are just even more real than a movie, you know. And you're making choices, and like you have to hurry up and save your daughter, and like
Because I beat it like two
the
or three
fact that
times.
the fact that she doesn't even survive. I remember like, oh my gosh, she doesn't survive. You know, when you're doing the game, and like as you know, I was just terrified, and like you came to the house and helped me play the game and play, you know,
Well,
taught me some things,
you
and then Daddy
walked
came
away.
by.
You walked away, so I did. You know, they talk about Robert in this episode, and I got you past Robert. That doesn't happen in the show, but in the game, you kind of mess him up or whatever. And I was like, she probably should have played this because I beat the game like two or three times. So like, I just like waltzed right through.
Really?
I waltzed right through it, and like she probably should. There's a lot of training in that part, so like she probably should have played this. Did you play after that? After I left?
No, I'm
Yeah, I
still
didn't think so.
scared. It's so
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah, you would have to replay the whole level because it teaches you how to play. But for me, it's really easy. I like done it so
Oh,
many times. But
wait. So there's like a training,
yeah, that's how games
or
are.
how do you learn?
You learn by playing those first levels. It's like they teach you how to crouch
Oh, I
and
see.
how to do
I
distractions
see.
with noise and stuff like that. So yeah, but you're not even
Oh,
playing it,
it's
so.
just I know it's just so scary.
But man,
And
so
actually, with
go
the
ahead.
show, well, I was just gonna say when I was watching the show, I was scared again. I was like being triggered by the playing the game, feeling those feelings because, man, that opening, like, first of all, the pacing was slow, right? And you just know something's gonna happen, so the tension's just building, and that tension was like I felt it, and the house looked the same, like it was so visceral. And then when they get into that scene when they're in the car and you see the headlights of the car and how realistic and it felt like a game, I was like, oh
Yeah,
shit. I
so
was
that
like so
almost
invested and
it
scared.
was almost shot for shot from the game. And even Mary, who never even really seen it, only the one time at your house, was like, looks like a video game, which is really cool. Like it was almost like when they drive up to the
Yeah.
sign that says Austin, it was like, oh, sweet, they're at Austin, make a left or right. It's like
Yeah.
straight up from the game, the burning barn, straight
Yeah.
up from the game, and the
Yes.
angle, yeah, it was perfect. It
Yeah.
works in the game and it works in the show. So
Well, I'm glad that they used it. Sometimes they are like they want to do their own thing, but actually that's kind of the beauty of the game, you know, and these new game, you know, these new generational games where it's you know you're in the game, like it's almost more real, you know. I think that's why these new games are harder for me to play because it's not just a little moving thing like Super Mario Brothers, like just jumping around. Like there's like, what is that screen called? I don't know what it's called, but um there's it's called a first person view.
POV or
um
is it POV? POV?
POV, you're right, it's POV. Well, which is the same as first person, I think, but it's just terrifying, and I'm glad that they, like you said, that they put those elements into the show and that it felt like a game.
Um,
I was shaking.
I hate that they're just broken down to that zombie show or zombies because yeah they're
It's
like
more than
zombies,
that.
but yeah, the concept is, I mean, they in the beginning of the episode where the guy from I don't know if you recognize the Mummy, Jonathan, the brother Jonathan from the Mummy, that's the scientist.
I did
uh,
recognize them,
yeah,
yeah. I was like, yay,
those
Jonathan.
so those are so there really is like ants. They get fungus in their brain and they control them and stuff, and then
Yeah,
that could
Chris was telling me.
it could totally happen, and then they have spores that go into the air, and then yeah, I mean, it could totally happen, and it's pretty cool. So they're called clickers in the game. I don't think they have said it yet in the show, but they're called clickers. Uh, yeah, the only thing they added was the little shit coming out of their mouths. So I don't think that's in the game. Like,
You're talking about when the old lady's eating, and there was that was
yeah,
her
yeah.
eating hair. I don't think
No,
that
it
was
was
things
white.
coming out.
It was white. It was like
I think it was
moving.
just hair.
No, it was white and moving, dude. Even Mary was like,
Really?
"What's that?"
I
Yeah,
think
I'm pretty sure
I
they added
watched
that.
I'm pretty sure. Well, I guess we'll find out. I thought it was just that she was eating her hair and the hair was coming out, and like, you know, hair moves, and I thought it was like CGI hair. It looked like
No,
the
no,
girl's
no. It
hair.
was white, dude. It was moving. Pretty sure
So you
it's
think
like
that's part of the
fungus.
infection?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
something added. Man, when
Oh,
what was brutal is when they jump into the future. Like everything new, but they show the little kid. Like, oh yeah, they're gonna kill him.
you already knew.
Yeah, come on. But what was brutal is,
Oh,
man, when he throws the body into he just throws that body into the fire. Like, damn.
I know.
I think that was a
I
real kid too.
know.
He just threw him into a mat or something. But like, shit,
I know.
that was rough.
And just that was rough. I don't know. The whole yeah, because I don't know where the game goes after this, you know.
And
That's about where I was in the game.
then they have
That first episode.
Anna Torv, I think that's what you say, as Tess. I didn't even recognize it. They beat her up so bad because I loved Fringe. Fringe was one of my favorite shows of all time. Anna Torv as
Oh,
Tess. So I'm like, oh shit! I didn't even know she was in the show. I wasn't even
oh
paying
yeah, you
attention.
love that show.
Yeah, that's actually, if you never watched Fringe, you gotta watch it.
Yeah, I haven't watched
It starts
Fringe.
off slow, but it gets really good. Especially it's about going to another dimension. Eventually gets
Oh, I didn't
there.
know that.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a parallel one though. It's not like just multiverse, like a parallel dimension, more like what DC
oh,
has. But it's a great show, but it is slow. There's a guide though where you can watch just the main storyline episodes. You can skip a bunch, but it was really good. But anyway, she's in it. They're all really good. It's really dark. Any thoughts other than that? It is not.
I yeah, when I was watching it, you know what I was thinking? I was like, because you know I love Walking Dead and I invested the whole way that I was like, shit, this is gonna be Walking Dead on HBO. You know what I mean? Like this is gonna be another level. Like I think AMC took it pretty well and it went pretty far, but you know that HBO is gonna take it an even other level. So I just like excited to see where it goes. I love the casting. I love the little girl from Game of Thrones. She was good too, and I know he's gonna be taking the journey with her. Um, so I don't know. I'm just excited. I was scared and terrified the whole time. I don't always watch things twice because I don't have the time and I want to make um, watch more films and all that. But I actually started watching this one again. It's just so good. It was done so well. I felt like I was there the same way that I feel when I play the game. I feel like I'm part of it.
That
So,
was
and I only
good.
got to that part in the game, so I have no idea
I
what's
know
coming.
exactly. That's literally right where you cut out. I just wish HBO did like what Amazon does when they'll put like two episodes up instead of one. I
Yes,
feel like it just needed a little
I was
more.
hoping for that too. I was like, are we gonna get two? We really just got one.
Yeah.
So
I'm
yeah.
curious if this season just it's going to be the whole game or they're going to cut the game to two seasons. There's two games total, but I don't know if one season will be
Mm.
one game or what they're planning to do. But they got the actual
Oh.
Neil Druckmann is like the executive producer or something like that. He's the one that made the first game. He made it with another
Oh.
gentleman, but they have one of the two guys, and he's pretty much been running that game studio for a while. So they have him, and then they have the guy from Chernobyl, who's the director, or probably the real show. I
Oh.
don't know what their actual titles are, but Chernobyl I heard was really good. I haven't gotten to watch it. And then they always throw. I forgot what he said, but he said something and it got people worried. Like it didn't sound like he likes games, and people get so worried. Like they always, I don't know why they always have to diss the original source material like that. I don't know exactly what he said, but probably middle of the pack. But it was very faithful. The first episode was very faithful. Um, it doesn't never for me. It doesn't have to be 100% faithful. It just has to be in
Exactly.
spirit
But
and
this did
good.
it right.
And this is
Exactly.
obviously
I agree.
in the game. You're traveling across state, and it's a short time. Where in real life that would
Yeah.
take a lot longer. So I'm imagining there's going to be a lot more stuff that we didn't see in the game going on, which should be good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because when you said the first game will be the first season, I was like, I don't know, maybe half the
yeah,
game will be the first season, you
yeah,
know?
because they have to travel way across state. So and
I didn't even know that they do that.
there's a lot more sad stuff coming. So be prepared.
Really? Shut up. Shut up. Oh my God. I'm just gonna be crying every
and
weekend.
there's different stages to the infection too. So you haven't seen nothing yet.
Oh fuck. Okay, don't tell me anything. Oh
Just think
my
about
God.
fungus. But yeah, it was a great
Oh, don't tell me,
episode.
don't tell me.
I can't wait for the next one. I think
Okay.
we're just gonna cut it there.
Okay. Well, go back to the movies. And we had a great conversation with Allison Locke. And if anything, I would recommend her movie, The Apology.
Yeah,
It's well
that's gonna be
shot.
the recommendation. for the week.
Yeah, we got to recommend that movie because it's so good. And she was very generous with her time, gave us some great stories, anecdotes, her background in film, and like why she loves horror. You can feel her love for horror in her writing. I think it's very hard to tell a story that's very contained and having two characters, and she did it so well, and it progressed so well. And she was very thoughtful about each character's backstory and their motivations, and you can feel that. And I was moved. I cried,
Damn.
and I was also satisfied at the end.
It's on
I was satisfied.
VOD, AMC Plus, and Shutter. And Shutter you could watch for free for a week, free trial on their main website, or you can do it on Amazon Prime. And I wanted to say one more thing, and then just escaped my mind. Fuck it. But oh yeah, it's funny. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, it's funny because it's and you when you Google it, it's described as a revenge film, and then obviously she wrote it, she knows what it is, but and people interpret everything differently. And to me, it was more about wasn't so much revenge, more like closure. For me, when I was watching the movie, the movie was more about closure. And it's funny because I didn't want to tell this, because it's her movie, she knows what it is. But it's funny how people interpret things differently. And that's totally how movies are. And to me, it wasn't even about revenge. It was more about getting closure and like being honest. And just that's what I saw in the movie. Like it's more about closure.
And also,
revenge.
like, I agree. And like also, when she titled it The Apology, I thought about that. Like, what would you do if somebody did something so fucked up to someone you love, to your child? Would you really accept their apology? Like, and what would you do with that apology? And like, I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but
we have a whole interview about it.
True, you're right.
Stay to watch that. Watch The Apology.
Yes.
We'll let you watch it at home for once, since it's not in theaters anymore.